What's going on Facebook Live? This is our third attempt. I think the energy's too high. It's taking out the networks. But I'll let you guys get on. And for those of you that have not read the description, I'm with Blake right now in Canada and in Ottawa. And what's funny is I didn't even know that Blake, so I met Blake through Katie Lynn. Katie Lynn was a client of mine. And next thing you know, I'm visiting my girlfriend, and I realized, holy crap, they're in Ottawa too. We have to get together. And then I realized this is all pre-orchestrated, and there's some beautiful stuff that we're all creating and going to give it to you guys on this Facebook Live. So I'm here with Blake right now. We're here for 15 minutes, and I have some really, really cool next level questions to ask Blake. To ask Blake to ask Sash, or I guess I'm directly talking to Sash. And if you guys are familiar with channeling, then this will be something you've seen before, and if not, then you're in for a treat. You ready to get started?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So, Blake, do you want to just start with a little context on how you and Sash made the connection?
Sure.
Tell the story.
Do you want Sash to tell it, or do you want me to tell it?
It's up to you.
Okay. So I met. It might be easier for Sash to do it. Okay. So I met Sash. It was probably in November or December of last year that I had been asking to start channeling. I had learned a bit about it, mostly through Abraham Hicks, and it's something that really resonated with me. Something like her teachings have taught me over the past couple of years. Something that the information has really resonated with me, and I wanted a deeper connection directly to source. So I had an asking. I asked the universe. I'd like to have that closer connection. I'd like to channel, and that was pretty much it. I just had an asking, and all these things started lining up. The universe started bringing me things. First, a book about learning to channel, and from kind of the craziest ways too. It wasn't something I ever expected. And then as I started reading the book and learning a bit more, that information was also resonating with me. And then I went on to I was only about halfway done the book, and then one night we just had a couple friends over, Katie and I, and in a time of zero resistance, we were just laughing and having a good time playing board games, and at a time of zero resistance, that's when Sash came through. And at first it was a lot of energy, and in that moment I thought I was having a heart attack. My heart sped up to a rate that I've never experienced before. I felt that as like a immense squeezing in my chest. I felt like I was having a heart attack, and so we had to make a trip to the hospital, and then while we were at the hospital is when Sash came through verbally for me. So that's kind of how it came through in a bit of a nutshell and kind of a condensed version. But so ever since then, I think that was in February, mid-February that happened. So ever since then, we've been asking questions, and I've been letting that guidance come through for me. So for me as well as anyone else who asks questions. So it's been an adventure, and it's only going to get more and more in-depth and kind of profound for myself and everyone who has questions. So yeah.
Cool. And when I first met Sash, Sash gave me some insights into my coaching practice that made these huge shifts following that session, and it's just been so amazing. So I'm really excited. But if you guys are on now, give us a comment if you're excited to hear from Sash, because we're going to bring him in now. And we have some really cool questions to ask Sash. So if you guys are on, comment either where you're from, your name, an emoji, whatever, and we're going to get started. So first question for Sash is, how does channeling work?
Channeling is a way for us non-physical beings to communicate with you humans in your physical realm. It is simply a vibrational alignment between the human as a channel and us as a vibrational non-physical being or spiritual guide. Simply, the human or the channel becomes a vibrational match to what we are, and then the information can come through. Some people bring information through artistic abilities, or through thoughts, or through sounds. But for Blake, he has chosen to bring the information through in a vocal form, because that is the method that best resonates with him. So the way it works for Blake is he is an open channel because he had an asking, because he had a desire to do this, and in a time of no resistance is when we chose to come through. And since that date, the way it comes through for him is we send him vibrational signals, which are basically forms of thought, and he translates that vibration into words. He is the mouthpiece for the energy, the vibrational energy we send him.
So you said we. What did you mean when you said we?
We, or me, Sash, is a collection of non-physical energies. We are not just one person as you would see in your physical form. We are a collection of different energies. But Blake has given us the name Sash and just refers to us as one being, because that is the only way his tiny human brain can comprehend our energies.
Oh, that's so funny. So what theme is the collective experiencing, the collective consciousness of this planet experiencing as a whole right now?
Big things. Big things are moving. Big things are shifting, and there is a lot of new energy being born. There is a lot of new asking from the humans. There is a lot of new desires taking form, and that is causing everything to ramp up. All the energy that everyone is experiencing is a reflection of that ramped up energy. The humans, with their asking, have caused that reflection of energy to increase, and as the asking continues, the energy will continue to speed up. And with the asking, more and more things are being given. As long as there is allowing, there will continue to be the desires that have been asked. The desires will continue to be given.
That's awesome. So what are the best ways to accelerate manifesting something that you want?
Doing things that feel good. It is really as simple as that. Feeling as good as you possibly can, whatever that means for you. Everyone is different. Everyone has different things they enjoy to do or feel good doing. So the more you do those things, the better you feel. And the better you feel, the more in alignment you are. And the more in alignment you are, the more you ask for more of those things. And the more you ask for those things, the more you will draw to you in your high vibration. And as you draw those things, that will just continue the momentum. The first step to manifesting is believing you can. And many of you humans have failed to remember that. You have unlearned or retaught yourself that you don't have power in your world. You don't have power in your ability to create. And that just isn't true. So the best thing you can do for yourself, if that is something that you are feeling now, is to start changing those beliefs. Start changing the belief that you can't create, that you don't have any power, and that you can't get what you want, because that is only true as long as you believe it. And if you choose to believe something different or the opposite of that, then that will be your reality. And then you will have the power to create and the power to live the life that you desire.
So if all we have to do is choose a new belief, why is it so difficult for people?
Because those old beliefs have a lot of momentum, and it is a very interesting scenario, because when you believe something, you attract more and more of that belief, and as more and more of that belief and that train of thought and those physical manifestations come into your world, then you believe it true even more, and then you keep thinking the same way, and in turn keep creating the same things or the same events, or more importantly the same feeling over and over and over again. So you need to have the self-awareness to say, that's enough. I know the way I'm thinking isn't serving me, because it keeps bringing more and more and more of the unwanted things that I keep thinking about. So the power is in your hands always, and you have the power to say, enough. That way of thinking is no longer serving me, and I can choose to think or start thinking different things that will serve me more, different things that will create what I do want, things that will make me feel good. Because when you think of the things you don't want, you don't feel good, and the more you think of them, the more you don't feel good. And when you don't feel good, you just bring more of that. What you think about, you bring about.
So what, I know you guys don't exist in the dimension of time, and your reality, you don't experience time as we do. So how would you describe your experience?
My experience is different from yours. I don't know time, as you said. I don't relate to the timeline that you guys follow in your physical world. The best way I can put it for you is we are just kind of floating around, always available to you should you have the desire to connect. And when we aren't connecting, we are doing the things that have always made us feel good, because we all realize now in this non-physical form that doing the things that don't feel good don't serve us, and we've let those things go. So when we aren't connecting with you, we are just in a pure positive experience, because we know that that is what life and creation is all about, and that is really why you are all here in this physical form, is to continue that expansion, is to continue that journey for and towards and through your joy and happiness and expansion.
So what would your message be to or your purpose in coming through? Do you have kind of like a signature message that you want to bring to?
There are many messages I can bring through, and much of it has to do with the asking. Whatever you want to discuss, we are more than game to discuss it. But as we've came through Blake, we are experiencing and noticing that you humans, many of you humans, have forgotten your power. You've forgotten who you are and what you're capable of, and what your power really has potential to create. And so we've realized that this will be a big part of why we're here, is to help others remember their power. Because seeing someone in their power, their true power, and see them start creating a life they've always desired, that's what feels really good to us. It feels great for us to see you humans living the life you intended, living the life that you feel joyful about, living the life that you are happy to keep living. And it is great to see you in your power and creating such beautiful experiences.
What is the purpose of the human experience?
Expansion. That is it. Expansion. And that comes in all types of different forms. Some souls or some spirits have come for different types of expansion. But all in all, your sole purpose in this life is to experience joy. And there will be things that happen along the way that you would classify as not enjoyable. But just because those experiences happen in your life or will happen in your life does not mean that you can't experience joy. They are just contrasting events. They are just creating contrast in your life, because without contrast, we would never really know how good feels. We would never know how bad feels if we never had the contrasting events in our life. And so, should you look at the events that you feel are painful or sad or make you angry or any type of emotion that doesn't feel good, should you choose to look at them as just contrasting events, then that can sometimes make experiencing them somewhat easier.
Cool. We're getting kind of short on time. We got about 9 minutes. Closing words. What can someone do right now if they're feeling in a really dark or stressed place? What can they do right now to feel better?
Give yourself permission to feel sad or angry or depressed or angry or any emotion that you may feel uncomfortable or of a low vibration. Give yourself permission to feel those feelings, because as we've been experiencing, so many people push against those emotions because they feel wrong or bad about feeling them, and that doesn't serve you. It is okay to feel those emotions, and those emotions have come up within you for reasons, because your emotions are telling you something. So give space to those emotions, and don't guilt trip yourself or shame yourself for feeling those emotions, because they are important. Give them space and give them light and give them love, and never push them down, because if you ever push an emotion down, it will just push back harder. And when you give light and love and space to these emotions, you can choose to transmute them into something that feels better. But just remember, never push down emotion. It is always telling you a message, and it always just wants to be heard.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Sash.
You're welcome, and have a great night.
Thanks, Mike.
Yeah, you're welcome.
How you feeling?
Good.
Good?
Yeah.
You get energized after?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's a lot of energy
Yeah.
coming through, so.
Awesome. Well, we have a event to get to, so we're going to sign off. But thank you guys for tuning in. And if you were inspired, share this Facebook Live and comment. Tag people that need to hear this message. And we'll talk soon.